welcome back. We are gathered here today, podcast number 6. And I think every time we do this, I feel like not only am I learning a little bit more about myself and about both of you, at the same time, the questions that we receive from our audience, it's engaging, and it's good to know that as we're developing these stories and developing ourselves, that it's value added to our listeners. So thank you everybody that's tuned in. This is the Fortune Collective, Bartholomew, Katie, and Juan. Today we're going to kick off with this very difficult question: waiting versus acting now. When is the perfect time to buy? Juan, start us off.
Thank you, Bartholomew. That's a great question because personally, I'm in the middle of this right now, determining whether I should buy now, should I wait for a later time. I'm literally in the middle of getting pre-approved. I'm running my own numbers, and personally for me in a California market, it doesn't make sense for me to buy now. Not necessarily because the rates are so high or the home prices are so high, but because of the monthly expense that it comes with it. You know, it's something that I personally, or something that I personally do not want to take on in my life right now. It's more of a decision of me not wanting to rather than, well, I can't. Because I could always go to somewhere else in California with, some where the homes are a little bit cheaper. Interest rates are what they are, but the monthly expenses would be much lower if I were to go somewhere like, Hemet or Apple Valley, much further out, right? But that's something that I'm not really looking into because personally, I live in Orange County. I would love to stay in Orange County if all possible. Something else that I am considering right now, whether I should buy or not, is if I should buy investment properties out of state. So that's another big thing. So I'm still getting pre-approved just to see, how much it is that I could afford. Trying to pick up on things as to how to invest in properties, how to, raise money using with private money or hard money, um, and really just get a genuine understanding of that, and then taking action and hopefully purchasing my first home as an investment home out of state. So that's literally where I'm currently at. So there is no perfect time to buy. It's just what is the perfect time for you as the individual. So that's that's my
Mm, perfectly said. I think the where you're adjusting, right? So it's not like you've completely left making a purchase or an investment off the table. It's more like will it be the appropriate time to do it with my current finances, or they're going to get better. So at that point in time, it might be the best time. Is that correct?
That's right. Well said.
There we go.
Yeah,
Big
no,
brain.
yeah, no, I agree. Right. I feel like buying a home is such a personal decision as well, right? And so like along with like the financial side of it as well, like there is a lot to consider when you're buying a home, right? Like for me, for example, like I have a home that I bought. It's not my forever home, I know that, right? And so it is, I'm at the point where I'm thinking about like I would love like a bigger home. I would love to kind of have my forever home. And I live out in Seattle, Washington, right? And so, it is a huge financial undertaking to go, and my forever home is a much bigger, nicer home than what I have right now, right? And so, alongside like having to go and save, right? But it's also trying to figure out like when will I find that home, right? I think you don't know what's going to be on the market. You also, as even as like an agent, you're also you want to make sure that the home is a good match for the person buying the home, right? And so, that's also that aspect as well, right? And sometimes that takes a little bit of time to find that home that fits, the boxes that, your hard requirements, and like, there's a lot up to chance as well, right? And so no, I like totally agree with you. Like it is like you'll know the right time when it's the right time, right? When you feel comfortable making that big purchase, and when the right home is there for you. So
Oh, you said something very, very interesting where you know that the home you're in right now that you own is not where you want to be long term. And from remembering from a previous episode, you mentioned the Barbie house and the Malibu home, right? So like the
mhm.
places that you see yourself living for the long term, but in the meantime, between now and then, it's kind of investments. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And one day I'll find my Barbie dream home, right? But for now, I am thinking about even like, maybe my home is somewhere down the road, right? I think given the square footage that I have right now, personally, right, and the dog, right? But I am also considering like buying a second home and making that, something like more of a rental, making that either like a vacation home or something that I would go and lease, right? And so, that is something also, down the road, something I want to do. But again, it's also like very dependent on like, how much do I want to allocate in funds for that home? Where do I want to go and buy that home, right? So there is a lot of things to go and take into consideration, but it is all, all in the plans, right? And there is no necessarily right time to go and buy the home, but you'll know when the time is right for you. So
I love that. The right time to buy is when we know and we feel that everything that is in a line is supposed to be there. I agree with both of you, and it's for the thing that I keep in mind right now is I'm single. I want a big family, and so until that family comes in, same story. That'll be more so a forever home. Being my second purchase here in Florida, um, this is going to be a rental, and so because of that, I know that I'm not going to be spending a lot of time here. So at least the things I can do to improve the property while I'm here, okay. So I know that that'll improve the rental rates once I move out. The other thing being the expenses, I think, are often forgotten. Like, one, you have the mortgage, but then there's the utilities, the roofing, there's landscaping. There's a number of things that don't really come to mind right away. But then as you, the longer you're in the home, you realize, yeah, there's other expenses that you may not have anticipated, which if you have the means for it, it's not a problem. But if you feel like you might be stretching yourself short, it might just not be the right time. And so, who's to say that your finances won't get better? If we're moving towards that and have that goal in mind, then I think it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. And whether it's the Barbie house or Hogwarts or Winterfell, like that sort of thing, that sort of thinking, it can come to life. And so it's just about planning and executing and making sure that imagination doesn't kind of die off. I'm going through a book right now, and imagination is the subject for the chapter I'm in. And I feel if I'm not if I'm not daydreaming about the sort of lifestyle that I want in the future, I feel like I can't really make the goals that I'm trying to work towards that much easier to anticipate and make it okay. It's gonna come true.